In the last 2 years, a largely unfancied team has become the most well-loved second favourite team for a lot of people around the world. This team doesn't boast a very rich history, has never punched above its weight, has never won anything that major in recent years, and is based in a city whose population is roughly 122,000. This team also doesn't boast the biggest stars on the planet, but has a way of playing football that would make you fall in love with this club. Managed by a man whose managerial career never saw him win any title, and who isn't as highly thought of as the likes of Simone Inzaghi, Carlo Ancelotti, or even Rino Gattuso, this club has quietly gone about its business and become the most exciting team to watch in Italy. Atalanta B.C. have been around for nearly 112 years. The Stadio Atleti Azzurri d'Italia is their home, and the stadium in itself wouldn't really give you the sense of it being the home of one of the best teams in the Italian Serie A. While Juventus ended up winning the league title, as has become rather customary these days, Atalanta showcased the best bits of football, scoring 98 goals and playing with the sort of swagger that won hearts and admirers from around the world. La Dea, or the Goddess as the club is called, qualified for the Champions League for the first time in their history last year and made sure that they weren't in the competition to make up numbers. With free-flowing attacking football and a team in which everyone was pulling in the same direction, the Bergamo outfit nearly reached the semi-finals of the Champions League. They held on to their one-goal lead for quite a while, but inexperience, or perhaps jitters, cost them the game, and they conceded 2 goals in the space of 180 seconds against PSG. If you saw the game, we're sure you'd have been as crestfallen as we are. Indeed, it would have been a great thing for us romantics to see a traditionally mid-table club dreaming big and aiming to go for an improbable title. And why wouldn't it be a story for the ages? The likes of Juventus, Internazionale and AC Milan are supposed to revive Italian dominance in Europe, right? Who the heck are Atalanta trying to take the baton from the perennial giants? But that's the thing. Atalanta were by far the best representatives of Italy in the Champions League this season. Atalanta scored 8 goals past Valencia in the round of 16, with the last game played in an empty stadium. This was the first time since Leicester City in 2017 that a team that made its Champions League debut would go to the last 8 of the competition. La Dea has been playing some really attractive football throughout the campaign, and under Gianpiero Gasperini, it's become quite a treat to watch. The win over Valencia and the consequent place in the last 8 were even more important given the rant delivered by Juventus president Andrea Agnelli a few days before the game. The Juventus Supremo is not a huge fan of non-traditional teams playing in the Champions League, which is why he's pushing for a European Super League with an NFL-style structure so that the rich keep getting richer while mid-table, hard-working clubs stay confined to the nether regions of football. While speaking at the FT Business of Football Summit in London, Agnelli used the example of Atalanta as a club that isn't financially contributing much to the game. He took a potshot at the club's history and even questioned the rules that let every club have a fair chance of playing in Europe's most prestigious club competition. And while Agnelli continued his rant, he completely forgot the fact that as long as fans, watching outside the stadium despite the stadium ban, continue watching the game and supporting stories such as Atalanta's, the game's soul would remain intact. In Italy, clubs that haven't won much in their history are always looked at in a different light. For instance, when Frosinone and Carpi were in line for Serie A promotion back in the 2014-15 season, Lazio president Claudio Lotito bemoaned the fact that these two teams joining Italy's elite were not worth the trouble. But perhaps that's all about to change. Juventus were found out against Lyon, Inter are yet to convince in the Champions League, AC Milan have their problems to sort out, Roma aren't consistent enough, Napoli are in transition, while Lazio just don't seem to shine when it matters the most. So who's left to represent Italian football the right way? Atalanta. Just a few years ago, the same club that almost dumped Neymar and Mbappe out of the Champions League was on the verge of relegation to the Serie B. But this is a club that's been run very carefully. Luis Muriel, the man who's been scoring goals for fun, only cost $21 million. The Colombian has done as well as Duvan Zapata has. Josip Ilicic comes up with the goods whenever needed, while Mario Pasalic is definitely one of the most influential midfielders in the league. The way Robin Cousins and Timothy Castagne have operated as wingbacks really shows the manager's attacking intent. All of these acquisitions did not cost the club a lot of money. The club's chairman, Antonio Percassi, is worth $1.1 billion, which isn't much for a football club owner in Europe, but the fact that Signore Percassi has played for the club means that he understands the club, its story, and the region it represents. For several years, Atalanta was a team that was pretty much yo-yoing between the top two levels of Italian football, so how were they able to get everything sorted out eventually? A little known fact is that in the past, Atalanta's efficient youth system has produced Italian internationals such as Roberto Donadoni, Gianpaolo Pazzini, and Riccardo Montalivo. The club has continued to work hard on its academy structure, and it has slowly started paying dividends. While Gasperini might not be an all-conquering manager, he's been able to help players realise their full potential. After working wonders with Genoa, Gasperini became Atalanta's manager in 2016. Shortly after, he went to Inter Milan, where he was sacked after only 3 months. However, he was brought back to Bergamo, which was when both the club and its manager were at a crossroads. La Dea was searching for its soul, while Gasperini was eager to improve his standing among the wider footballing community. Introducing an innovative 3-4-2-1 formation, the Italian tactician's first season saw Atalanta improve their goal scoring and finished third. This is a club of second chances and an institution that seems to keep its doors open. Martin de Roon was signed in 2015 and was sold to Middlesbrough a year later. After struggling in England, the Dutchman was welcomed back in Lombardy. But that wasn't all. A lot has been going on in the background as well. Danish strength and conditioning coach Jen Banksbo, who has worked under the likes of Carlo Ancelotti and Marcello Lippi, was brought back to the club. The Danes' arrival saw an uptick in the team's physical attributes as Atalanta were now in a better position to play according to the manager's liking. This season, they finished third in the league standings, scoring 98 goals, which is something that hasn't been done since the 1950-51 campaign. They scored 7 goals in a game on 3 occasions. What's even more eye-catching is that the team has been able to scale one mountain to another despite boasting only the 13th highest wage budget in the Serie A. Not many clubs would give second chances to players who struggled when given good opportunities. Gasperini does things differently. The former Genoa tactician plucked underachievers from relative obscurity and turned them into the most elite players in the Serie A. A few years back, the likes of Ilicic and Zapata were used as examples of players who failed to live up to their potential. Zapata has scored 41 goals in the last 2 seasons, and Ilicic, on the other hand, became the first player to score 4 away goals in a Champions League knockout game. And that's not the only record they had. This season, La Dea became the first ever team in Serie A to boast 3 players who scored 15 or more goals in a single campaign. While many coaches prefer not to adopt a cavalier approach when it comes to knockout games, Gasperini isn't the type. The wily tactician wants his players to win attractive football and aim to always stay on the front foot. This isn't a team that's going to be fazed at the prospect of facing stronger opposition. Even during the defeat at the hands of PSG, Atalanta were playing positively, never giving the impression of a team that was punching above its weight. Indeed, the Ligue 1 giants were very lucky to have crossed the finish line. On any other day, things could have turned out very differently, and we'd be talking about a potential dark horse aiming to shake up European football's structure. While they were unable to continue their fairytale run, the arrival of Atalanta speaks volumes of a different method of running a football club. One that seeks to be patient and give second chances to those who are searching for their own identities in an industry where competition is largely dictated by the big bucks. Hey Goalside fans, do you want to know how we never miss a match? With Fubo TV, you can stream any game, anytime, anywhere. Use our link in the description to start for free and watch your favourite teams live.